Hey, what's happening there? She asked a boy who stood watching the crowd ahead of him. Two boys are fighting, one's punching the other. Could he be talking about Jungkook? No, no, he promised he wouldn't get into a fight. Wyan thought, but as murmurs rippled through the crowd, she catch his name being whispered. Her eyes widened in alarm. Pushing her way through the crowd, she gasped when she spotted him. Jungkook was towering over another boy, Yeonjun, whose face was bloodied and swollen. Without hesitation, Wine rushed toward them, grabbing Jungkook by the arm and trying to pull him away. Jungkook, leave him. He is had enough. He will die. She pleaded, tugging at him desperately. Then let him die. He sat coldly, his grip on Yunjin unrelenting. No, stop it. Summoning all her strength, Vine managed to wedge herself between the two just as the principal arrived. It seems my last warning mean nothing to either of you. He sat sternly, his eyes narrowing on both boys. Yunjin, clutching his bruised face, stammered through swollen lips. Principal sir, look at what he did to me. Suspend him. Jungkook's piercing glare made Yunjin flinch. No, please, sir, Wine stammered, stepping forward. Just to give him one last chance, please. Enough. Both of you are suspended for 1 week. He turned and walked away without another word. Wine turned to Jungkook, frustration and worry etched on her face. Jungkook, come with me. She grabbed his arm and pulled him toward the clinic. Once inside, she made him sit down. The clinic was empty, no nurse in sight. So Wine searched for the first aid kit. Finding it, she knelt in front of him and began cleaning the blood on his lips. He hissed softly as the antiseptic stung, but she blew on the wound to ease the pain. Jungkook's sharp gaze softened, his attention fixating solely on her face. I have told you so many times, Cook. When will you start listening to me? Hmm? She said, her voice tinged with exasperation. Without warning, Jungkook pulled her onto his lap, wrapping his arms around her waist and burying his face in her neck from behind. He was talking bad about you. He murmured, his tone low and possessive. Wine turned toward him, her heart softening as she placed a gentle kiss on his cheek. You need to control your anger, Jungkook. I want to, but when someone talks bad about you, I just can't. He admitted with a pout, his demeanor shifting. Wine blinked, stunned at how quickly his rage had melted into something so endearing. Just moments ago, he seemed ready to tear Yoonjin apart. Yet now, he sat before her like a child. It amazed her how only she could calm the storm within him. After treating Jungkook's wound, he gave Wine a slight nod and left without saying much. She watched as he disappeared down the hallway, wondering where he was headed but deciding not to pray. Shaking her head, she made her way back to her desk, where her friends were already seated. Finally, took you long enough. Luna teased, patting the seat beside her. Was that Jungkook in the clinic with you? What happened? Olivia asked, her curiosity shining through. It's a long story, Wine replied, brushing it off. I will tell you later. She dropped her bag onto the desk and sat down as the lecture began. The class passed uneventfully, and soon the group of friends found themselves huddled together after the lecture. All right, what's the plan? I'm starving, he announced, stretching his arms. Me too. Let's grab something from the canteen. I will take everyone's orders. The group quickly rattled off their choices. I will take a sandwich with lemonade. Just some fries for me, double cheeseburger, and a soda. Make it quick. I'm wasting away here. Luna rolled her eyes but smiled. All right, lazy bones, I will handle it. Be right there. While Luna was away, the rest of them gathered around a small table, chatting and laughing. When she returned, arms laden with food, they eagerly dug in. You know what we have not done in ages? Played truth or dare. Oh, come on, I'm too old for that. You old. Please, you act like a toddler half the time. She teased, passing him his burger. I think it could be fun, she said with a small smile, nibbling on her sandwich. Perfect, let's start. I will spin first. Using an empty soda bottle from the table, Olivia gave it a good spin. It twirled around rapidly before pointing to Henry. Olivia, truth or dare? Dare, obviously, bring it on. Okay, I dare you to stand up and sing the chorus of your favorite song loud enough for the entire canteen to hear. Henry groaned but stood up, clearing his throat dramatically. Fine, but only because I'm amazing. He then belted out a hilariously off key rendition of a pop song, earning laughs and a few claps from nearby students. The game continued, with each round growing more amusing as the dares became bolder and the truths more revealing. Between bites of junk food and fits of laughter, the friends found themselves forgetting the stress of the day, strengthening with every playful exchange. The bottle spun once again, and this time it stopped pointing directly at wine. Your turn, wine, truth or dare. Dear, she said with a resigned sigh, knowing she would regret it but unwillingly to back down. Luna's eyes gleamed mischievously. All right, I will write the names of some boys on these chairs. You will pick one, and then you'll have to the guy in front of us. Wine's eyes widened in shock, her face heating up instantly. What? That's so unfair. Oh no, what if I pick someone random? Jungkook will definitely kill him. She thought, biting her lip nervously. Come on, Wine, it's just a game. Don't ruin the fun. Fine, she grumbled, rolling her eyes as she reluctantly agreed. Luna quickly scribbled down names, folded the chairs, and mixed them up in a small pile. She handed the stack to Wine with a smirk. Here you go, pick one. Wine hesitated before taking a chit, her heart thudding in her chest. When she unfolded it, Her breath catch and her heart skipped a beat. The name written there was all too familiar. Whose name is it? He asked, leaning forward eagerly. Nurse Jungkook, she stammered, her cheeks turning crimson. The group erupted into teasing cheers and dramatic gasps. Oh, Jungkook. This just got way more interesting. Wine's face burned with embarrassment as she tried to sink into her seat. But he is suspended. The professor made it clear he can't be on campus. Luna leaned back with a sly grin. No problem, we can wait for this horse in until he's back. The teasing continued, and Wine felt like the ground might swallow her whole. While the others joked and laughed, only Luna cast the nervous flicker in Wine's eyes. Luna knew the truth. Wine and Jungkook were married, and Jungkook's infamous temper wasn't something to mess with. She also knew why Wine had stepped in earlier during the fight. She had no choice but to side with Jungkook, especially since Yoonjin was their senior. As the group moved on to the next turn, Wine silently vowed to herself to somehow survive whatever chaos Luna's stare might bring when Jungkook returned. A week passed and the suspension was finally lifted. Wine and her friends were sitting on their usual bench, chatting away as the class filled with students. Luna was halfway through recounting a funny story when her eyes darted to the doorway. Well, well, look who's back, she said, nudging Wine sharply with her elbow. Wine frowned in confusion until she followed Luna's gaze. Her breath hitched slightly when she spotted Jungkook entering the class. As usual, intimidating aura, turning heads, dressed sharply and with a cold expression. He walked in as if the suspension had only heightened his commanding presence. You remember you're there, right? She whispered, a sly grin tugging at her lips. Wine's cheeks flushed as she glanced at Jungkook, who was now making his way to his seat at the back of the classroom. Yes, I remember, she muttered, fiddling nervously with the hem of her sweater. Oh, come on, don't act like you have never him before. He's your husband. One face turned a deeper shade of red, and she let out an awkward laugh. That's different. This is in front of everyone. You will survive, Luna teased, her voice dripping with amusement. And besides, you're lucky. Most people here would kill for a chance like that. Wine groaned softly, burying her face in her hands. While she tried to ignore Luna's relentless teasing, her eyes kept flickering back to Jungkook. He was sitting with Jimin, seemingly oblivious to their conversation, or so she hoped. Better start thinking of how you're gonna pull this off, Mrs. Jones. Luna added with a wink. Wine glared at her friend, but couldn't help the small smile tagging at her lips. She had no idea how she would manage to complete the dare without embarrassing herself or worse, angering Jungkook, but One thing was certain, Luna wasn't going to let her off the chair that easily. Flashback a week ago. The college garden was quiet with only the rustling of leaves and the occasional chirping of birds breaking the silence. Jungkook stood near a stone bench, his hands buried in his pockets, looking as stoic and distant as ever. Opposite him stood a girl named Minji, known for her confidence and charm. She had gathered her courage for days to approach Jungkook, and now, standing before him, she finally let her feelings out. Jungkook, I have liked you for so long. She stammered, her voice trembling slightly as she clutched the edge of her skirt nervously. I thought maybe we could. Before she could finish, Jungkook interrupted her, his cold gaze piercing right through her. Stop. Minji froze, startled by his harsh tone. Don't waste my time with this nonsense. Her eyes widened and she took a hesitant step closer. But Jungkook, I really mean it. Can't we? Without a hint of hesitation, Jungkook pushed her arm away as she tried to reach out of him. I said, Stop, I'm not interested. Don't make me repeat myself. His voice was low, calm, but it carried a sharp edge that made her flinch. Tears welled up in Minji's eyes as she stood frozen in place, humiliated. From a distance, Henry happened to witness the scene. He had been on his way to the library when he saw Jungkook harshly pushing Minjin away. He couldn't hear their words clearly but could sense the tension in the air. What's with him? Why is he so cold all the time? Henry thought, shaking his head as he continued walking. Later, when Henry recounted the incident to the group, the other friends were filled with curiosity. I still don't get it. Why is Jungkook so intense? I mean, does he even like anyone? Honestly, I don't think he's capable of liking anyone. Luna remained silent, biting her lip to suppress a knowing smile. She was the only one who knew the truth. Jungkook was married to Wine. You know what? I think we should test him. Test him how? Well, we will give Wine a dare. Then we will finally get to see how he reacts to something unexpected. Oh, this is going to be good. The group chuckled, completely unaware of the secret Wine and Luna shared. Meanwhile, Luna was thinking that how will she reveal this secret? Flashback ends. The last lecture had ended and the classroom began to empty as students gathered their belongings and filed out. Wine's friends passed by the door, throwing her teasing wings before leaving, their playful giggles echoing in the hallway. Everyone was gone except for Wine and Jungkook. He stood by his desk, about to leave, when her voice stopped him. Jungkook, he turned, his cold eyes meeting hers. Before he could utter a word, Wine stepped forward and pressed her lips softly against his. Jungkook froze for a split second, catch off guard. Just as he began to pull away, thinking it was over, his hand shot up to the back of her neck, pulling her closer as he deepened. Unknown to them, Henry, Luna, and Olivia peeked through the slightly ajar door. What is he doing? Luna smirking. What do you think? Obviously, no one's shy about their own wife. Wife? What? Wait, what? Yes, yes, they're married. Didn't you know? And she didn't tell us. That's unfair. Let's go inside. The trio barged into the room, interrupting the moment. Wine quickly pulled back, and Jungkook's arm slid around her waist possessively. His jaw clenched as he shot a glare at the intruders. What do you want now? Wine placed a calming hand on his arm, silently asking him to stay composed. Winey, it's unfair, he pouted. Why didn't you tell us? Wine sighed, feeling a twinge of guilt as she looked at her friends. I'm sorry, Henry, but please try to understand my situation. At least you could have told us. Before Wine could respond, Chunguk's grip on her waist tightened as he spoke, his tone sharp and aggressive. Now she's told you, has not she? Don't disturb us anymore. The trio exchanged glances, sensing the tension, and quickly excused themselves, leaving the room with muttered apologies. Once they were alone again, Chunguk leaned in. Actually, it was just a dare. His voice dropped to a husky whisper, sending shivers down her spine. You're lucky they're interrupted, or I would have you begging for more right here.